Hey, what's going on again, everybody? So this is my third video now in the last 3 days. I've been trying to barrel through these. I've picked up some figures that I've really been waiting for. So thanks again for tuning in to my channel. Those of you who know me know my name's Chris. This is my channel, I Am Toys. Hit that 4K option now if you get the chance, so you can see this figure and the resolution that I'm attempting to give it to you in. So instead of doing something a little bit different, instead of displaying the figure with the box art, which most have already seen already, I've just decided to display it with one of something that's equally as cool, my Daredevil #1, which is the first appearance, obviously, of Daredevil. I went through hell and high water and fury, man, to get it signed by Stan Lee. I mean, it's not exactly that hard, but it's just that the process can be difficult depending on what road you go. You can mail stuff in. You also can go to the con, which is what I did, which sometimes becomes a little bit ridiculous because before I got it graded and I had it signed, this gentleman offered to open up the previous case that I had it in. I'd got it CGC graded, unsigned a couple years ago or a few years back. I can't even remember anymore. So he was like, "Oh, I'll crack it open for you." And this guy basically thumb dented the top portion of the cover, and somehow the people that graded it, CGC, told me that they were able to push it out, and they were able to fix it. So definitely wanted to have him displayed in this. I got it re-CGC graded at a 3.0. It's one of the few Silver Age or vintage comics that I have left. I traded a lot of stuff away years ago for some Hot Toys figures and Sideshow stuff, believe it or not. So a lot of it went bye-bye. So I have a few Grail pieces that I have kept, and every once in a while I try to make some deals for folks. There are quite a few collectors out there who will trade comics for Hot Toys figures. So I still keep the options open. But he's definitely one of my favorite heroes. Despite a lot of controversy to his body type and the proportions and his likeness, again, this is just my opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with this figure. I think the body type is fine. He's not a guy who's really jacked. I think once folks get this figure in hand, you'll probably see it's in proportion as good as it can be. I know some folks are thinking about bulking up the upper part of the body. I can tell you right now, if you're planning on doing that, you are going to lose articulation, especially if you try to bulk up the legs or the upper body. So it's just keep that in mind. Again, this figure is also a pleather leather material, so most likely keeping it in long poses, bent dynamic poses, are going to it's going to give you probably some problems, maybe peeling or cracking at some point. So that's the game of the hobby, man. They don't make indestructible clothing, and that's just how it is. Even our most expensive leather jackets at some point will deteriorate. So, and even in our jackets, we know we don't have our arms bent for long periods of time. So just a quick reference. I know most people would probably like to get on with it. So all right, let's get to the figure. We'll rotate him around and go through some more stuff, and then show you a couple poses at the end and the accessories, and you know the deal. Okay, so here's the close-up of Charlie Cox's face, Mr. Daredevil, Mr. Matt Murdock. I think it's very good. Hot Toys usually has a good track record of hitting the likenesses on the faceplates. It's funny saying that, but they usually do a pretty good job. Some of the most recent that I can think of, in my opinion, is the Batman Returns with Keaton. They killed it. Actually, even more recent than that, you've got Nightmare Batman. You've got Affleck, Batfleck. They hit the likeness pretty darn well on that as well. Captain America, also another faceplate. They actually killed it on that as well. So they've got a very good track record of hitting the faceplate figures, because they essentially only have to focus on one part of the figure, which is nice. So I think in certain parts of Daredevil, you see the nose sticking out less, and then some more. This, I think, is a fair balance between what I've seen in the episodes. I think it's really good. Some people think the jaw might be too wide. I really don't think so. I think it's fine. It could be a little thinner, maybe. I don't know. I think it's fine. I really have no gripes with it. I think it's good. So, I remember the initial prototype pics. They look good. I think this is pretty much The prototype pick, just, you know, it softened a little. So, I mean, that's going to be expected. And really, other than that, I'm happy with it. So, you know, so we'll just rotate the figure around, give you the up and down, and so on and so forth. All right, so as the figure turns back around, you're going to get a little bit of shake on the camera for a second because I'm going to back up a little bit. So, yeah, overall, I think it's a good job on Hot Toys end. The mask looks good. The likeness is there enough for Charlie Cox. If you don't think it is, you don't got to buy the figure, guys. Just move along and put your money towards something else if you thought you were going to get this and you're not pleased. You know, it's pretty much as simple as that. The tailoring on the fabric is good. It seems like it's almost the same material that was used on the Deadpool. And just like the Deadpool, you are going to have probably some issues with the knee pads if you keep the knee pad, the knee bent for too long. So, as you can see, there's little knee pads, and I've seen countless other people have problems with the same issue, but when you have the knees bent too long, the knee pads start to peel off. So you just got to be cognizant of that and be careful, and because you're going to end up having to super glue it, which is what I had to do with mine, and which I know probably numerous other people had to do as well. So just be careful. But yeah, it's pretty much the same material. There's the two other sticks that he comes with. I know some people have been talking about beefing up the upper body. You know, I'd like to see the work on that after it's done because, you know, you run the risk of losing articulation, which I think I had mentioned before. But you know, some pretty good people out there know what they're doing as far as customizing figures per se. So who knows? Maybe it'll look good and it'll come out well. But you're gonna have to beef up the arms because if you just do the chest, it's gonna make his arms look too skinny. So, you know, but I think he's in proportion, man, the way he should be. Daredevil's not a big guy. He's really not. And I think if most people are going to find it out, probably too, if they try to beef him up, he's going to look too big. He's just not that big of a dude. You can maybe get away with some very, very thin padding and maybe his chest or back, but I don't know. I have a feeling some people will probably accomplish some pretty neat things, so we'll see. All right, so this is basically the figure. You know, it's a good job on their end, man. You know, just be careful with posing because, you know, again, like this material with some of the other materials that we have come, that we're used to, you know, excessive bending, you'll probably lead to some cracking in the pleather material, so on and so forth. But you just got to be careful, man. You know, most of us have been in the hobby long enough. Just be cautious. And that's really about it on this. So let me show you the accessories and I'll bang out some poses for you. And I guess that'll be it. Okay, so you guys, some of you are probably like, wait a minute, what? Is he really not going to show us the alternate mouth plate? So yeah, I'm going to do it. I figured I might as well show you guys how to do it. It's not hard, but I've seen a few questions about it. Doing it, it's really not tough. Basically, all you have to do is shimmy the top of this a little bit. And it eventually will come off. I know I'm probably making it look hard, but it's not. It comes off just like that. It comes out like that. Put that back in like so. And then as I drop it. Alright, so as we bring the review to a grinding halt so I can pick up his face. Anyway, that goes like that. Looks kind of effed up, huh? And then just slide that back down basically, just like that, and there you go, the alternate faceplate. Some people are saying that this likeness looks better than the regular sculpt. I don't know about that. I haven't really found, I have to go back and actually rewatch the scenes where he gets into some pretty intense fights and see the expression to see if I can really compare. I haven't really done a comparison, but I think it's basically the other sculpt but expressive. So I really don't have a problem with this one either. I'm going to spin them around and show you the angles on this sculpt as well. So we'll begin that real quick, and then I promise I'll show you the accessories. So I'll let you guys get a look at him. and gauge his likeness for yourself. Do you think it looks like him? Do you not? You know, it's all going to be in the eye of the beholder, as they say, right? Because I know some videos and some angles will make or break a sale depending on the person you are, pretty much, and the kind of collector you are. It may be that one shot or one angle that you see that sells you on the figure, and if I can give it to you in the video and it helps you out, that's what I'm pretty much going for. Alright, and as we come back around 360, that's the alternate faceplate, and now I promise I'm going to do the accessories and some poses. Alright guys, so here's the accessories. As you can see, the figure is not very accessory packed, but it's Daredevil, so you're really not going to get that much stuff with him. Obviously get some alternate open and closed grip hands. You get his main weapons, but separated. Sorry for that fluctuation in breathing there. But let me move this up just a little bit so it doesn't do that again on you. So that part of the base is not attached. Like I said, there's a black piece that comes with it, and then you put that portion of the rock that's supposed to mimic like the curved street on top of that, and that sits behind the base. And like I mentioned, you get the open portion of his sticks that he uses, and then you get one that is straight together and connected, which I have resting up on the brick wall, which you'll see come back around again in a second. And you obviously get the alternate faceplate, which I already showed you, and you get those two sticks that also fit into the side of his leg holsters. And that's about it as far as accessories. There's nothing really else. And then the base, obviously, that he was standing on. So that's pretty much it. But it's enough to still put together some pretty dynamic poses and some fun photos. So what more can you ask for, right? I'll let that go around one more time for you guys that want to see it. The hands are sculpted well too, the gloves. You know, I don't really know what you can really ask for. It's good. I like that they give you 3 variations of his sidearm, essentially, of what he uses as his primary weapon. Yeah, that's pretty nice. You got the closed, you got the open, you got the spread. You can mimic some choking scenes with that little piece, a little monstrosity right there. That'll be fun. And bust some heads in with the one that's still solid and put together. You know, you can pretty much do all kinds of things. So, alright, that's it for accessories, and let's bang out some poses. Alright, and here's a kind of basic pose, nothing too fancy. Let's give you an idea of basic articulation or pose that you can get with this guy. Next pose I'll do something a little bit more dynamic, and maybe one more after that. If you don't see another one, then that's probably it. I don't have too much time today, so you're probably going to get one more pose, and that's probably going to be it. Give you one last turnaround. The articulation is not too bad. Both shoulders, arms rather, I guess, go up just about completely full laterally. So you can pretty much get the arms to go to the lateral shoulder length. Knee up to the crotch, of course. Once you start to approach that 90-degree mark of bringing up the knee, it's a little, you start to get resistance. So you're not going to be able to get it into a full 90-degree flexion without putting a lot of pressure on the groin area and the fabric. So just be cautious with that because you might rip it. All right, and let's get to a little bit more of a dynamic pose. There you go. That's probably not the dynamic pose you thought I was going to give you, but there you go. So close things out. I think I mentioned before that the outfit seemed like it was the same exact material as what they used for Deadpool. I'm gonna go back on that. It's definitely not the same material. It's very similar. However, it seems thicker. And it's definitely tighter. You definitely don't have the articulation with this figure that you did with Deadpool. You know, that's for sure. It's unfortunate. It is kind of limited for what you can do. Other than what you have seen in some of the other photos. as far as some like different fighting stances, and that's really about it. I mean, you can't really get too dynamic with it. You can have him probably look like he's jumping over something, like, you know, using that one hand kind of leap, like you see with Deadpool in some poses. You know, that's really about it. You know, it's you just got to be careful on how far you push the joints, because you will tug on those, on the under armpits and in the groin area. So just want to be cognizant of that, you know, so you don't rip it, tear through the fabric. So that's really about it, guys. So this is kind of short video, at least I think it was anyway. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask me, and I'll try to get back to you. I'm pretty much exhausted after these 3 videos. It eats up a lot of time, but I enjoy doing it. It's fun. So if you like the video, go ahead and like, subscribe, share with your friends as usual, and that's about it, guys. So have a good night. Deuces.